Hey everybody, welcome to today's video at Active Self-Protection Extra. Today I have a 10-minute piece, one part of a much longer discussion that my incredible wife Laura and I had about this video. This video from Matt Walsh about a viral video that happened with a drunk Philly Eagles fan confronting a couple of Packers fans and saying mean things to them has kind of gone viral, and he had some things to say. Laura and I had an hour and 15-minute discussion about this, and the entirety of it, the whole episode in all of its glory, and there's a lot. We go over a lot of stuff in there, is in the Asp Unlimited app. A link is in the description, and if you're a member of the Asp Unlimited app, please go watch the entire thing here. I don't think that YouTube is my venue for content that long, and so I'm not gonna post the entire thing here, but I thought that this little short snippet of it, just 10 minutes of it, and particularly the discussion about ego, about self-image, and about self-defense was really important to share with everyone. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you join us over in the app. Download the Asp Unlimited app for all the content you love from Active Self-Protection and more with no interference from YouTube. No ads, no age gates, exclusive videos, seminars, classes, and more on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Android TV. Hit the link in the description or download Asp Unlimited from your app store today.
After reviewing the play, the runner was short of the goal line. They got one more yard though. They're close. Yeah, but we're not in. It's not a touchdown. Yeah. So you don't okay, well, don't call her a dumb. She's an ugly dumb. Cool. End of the third quarter. Yep.
If another man talks to your woman that way, you can't just stand by and let it happen. You can't. You just can't. Recording it and posting about the guy later is not good enough. In fact, it's worse because now your emasculation and your fiance's humiliation has been immortalized. It's amazing to me that this guy called your fiance a dumb, ugly C word to your face. Your response was cool, and you put that online for the world to see?
Because it's great de-escalation.
So,
I've so much to say.
go ahead.
I don't know where to start.
So to me, the thing he said, you know, if someone talks this way to your woman, I worry about that. I don't know that he meant it this way, okay? But that feels awful possessive.
Right.
Okay, so my feminist wife here will take that as a, what am I, your property? I don't know that he meant it that way. He's a conservative commentator. There's a chance that, you know, the man is the head of his household and he's got, what?
Go ahead, nothing.
And, you know, he's,
He controls everything in his household and
okay,
everyone
and
in
now I
his
say all the time, you're my wife, right? That's
Sure.
This denotes relationship.
Yes.
You know, my nickname for this wonderful woman is Isha, and I call her Isha all the time, and Isha is the Hebrew word for woman.
But why do you call me Isha?
Because you hate if I call you
Because
woman.
if you were to call me your woman, I would not be happy.
Yeah, so I just say it in Hebrew.
It's very nice.
It's very nice. It's an endearing name. And so, okay, and it says, but her humiliation and his emasculation. So my problem with that is it equates his masculinity to his willingness to do violence.
Right.
Or to because again, if I'm going to say, hey man, the other part of that is you can't do that. Now, no, so that's saying, hey, there's a social contract. I agree there's a social contract, but then saying, I'm the enforcer of the social contract. Right. You might say that. And again, I will say when I was a kid, man, my grandpa would enforce the social contract, and he got in a lot of fistfights.
But he also
did 3.5 years for attempted murder. There's a whole story there. But I saw him get in a lot of fistfights back in the day. Cops didn't get called, those kinds of things. But in most of those fistfights I saw him get into, he picked them.
Interesting, and you might have to edit this out. But when I think about why he went to prison, it was because of your woman.
Well, it was somebody beat crap out of grandma.
Right, but what I'm saying is he was defending her.
Yeah, somebody's got to pay for the fact that he beat the crap out of my wife.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think he would have done the same thing if it had been beat the crap out of my grandson. Or even one of my girls. Maybe it would have been if it was one of his girls.
Maybe, but so to the point here, I think the bigger thing is that Walsh is, wait a minute, your emasculation. Again, that equates your masculinity to I'm willing to, I got to have verbal confrontations that are highly likely to escalate into physical confrontations. I don't think that's a mark of masculinity. Her humiliation. So remember, you don't have to accept every invitation to fight that you're given. And the fact that somebody gives offense doesn't mean you have to take it. And when somebody tries to give you something and you don't take it, it's still theirs. And so, well, he's calling her dirty names. Dude, it's Philly. People say that to everybody in traffic. And I wish that I could say that I have never questioned someone's lineage or parentage or species while I was driving.
Okay, sorry.
No.
Okay, but here's a good example. I think a good similarity. If you're in traffic and, I'm driving and someone calls me exactly what this guy calls her, and you either, I'm sure Matt Walsh probably would never say that a woman should be driving and a man should be in the passenger seat, but whatever. Maybe he does.
Come on, you're putting words in his mouth.
I am. I'm sorry. Maybe that's wrong. However, I don't expect you to get in a shouting match with the guy in the car next to us and escalate the just why? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to see that guy anymore. My value doesn't come based on what some rando drunk guy thinks. So, I don't need somebody to stand up for me. All of that is just ridiculous to me.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Like if in Walsh's mind, it seems that his expectation is that she will think less of herself and think less of him for not telling that guy to stop. And so it hurts the both of them in some way.
I would hope that and expect for you to respond in a very similar way of like, you know what, we're gonna remove ourselves from the situation, or we're gonna be like, whatever, we're not engaging here anymore. If you were to escalate, I would be pissed.
Well, and again, I think from a risk management perspective, right? So I will tell you that it takes somebody, there's one of two things here. This is a kind of a bell curve issue, right? So if you are so weak and so unable that you can't stand up for yourself and that you couldn't do anything here, then you can't say anything to that guy, okay? And so because if you do stand up to him, then you're emasculated, he's gonna kick your butt, and everyone else in the stadium is going to kick your butt, and that's going to be broadcast for the world to see. If you have some abilities, then maybe you feel like, aha, this guy feels like I'm weak, and I got to show him that I'm not. But if you are really understanding who you are, if you have a very high level of capability and competence, and the self-image that says, and I don't need to prove it to some drunk idiot at the Phillies game, then I can let him have the social win. Because again, I'm never going to see him again, and I can go, cool, man.
You know why it bothers me is because this is so much about ego. It's a total ego thing for this man to say something to my woman, and I have to show my ego of, my ego gets involved about how now you can't treat my property like that, the woman that's important to me. I don't know.
And here's the funny part. I think if your ego is big enough, then you can let it go. Now, by ego, I mean your self-image. Okay. Right? So that ego, the id, the me, ego, I, my sense of self. If I'm worried about my sense of self and my place in the world, then I got to maybe test it. Then I got to do something about that so that he's not in a higher position than me, and my place in the social pecking order is not at risk. That's what you're talking about.
That's
with ego.
what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the monkey game.
Yeah, the monkey game. And if I know, friend, I'm the big monkey in this room, and I'm not worried about that. I don't know that we've ever talked about the monkey game on the channel.
That'd be another good one for some other time.
But then I don't have to. I don't have to say to you, you know better. I know better, and I'm never going to see you again. So I'll just let it be. I don't even have to record the guy for that matter. Right. And if he wants to get physical, well, then it's going to be bad for him. Right. But I don't have to out ego him. And I agree with you. Maybe at some point, he's calling bad words or whatever. I think maybe just swap seats with your wife. Let her stand on the other side. Okay, man, make fun of me. It's cool, dude.
In case you're afraid, like I could see where that would be a good idea if you're afraid he's going to take a swing at her.
Yeah, if you're afraid he's going to get physical.
Like if it's you and me, like I can't protect myself as well as you can. That's just how it is. And so if you switch places with me, then I'm not in physical danger anymore. And whatever verbal abuse he wants to cast at me, that's it. Again, it's a random person that I'm never going to see again. It doesn't have anything to do with my self-respect or my self-worth, and so whatever.
Yeah, and I think he's living in a very honor and shame-based society, and in a very honor and shame-based world. And I don't live in that world anymore.
But you could take different cultures where that is a really big deal, and I could see how this also would be an issue in that society. Right.
So my advice to folks from an active self-protection perspective is to think enough of yourself and to have enough capabilities that you don't have to prove it to him. That you're so capable, so far on this side of the bell curve that you're not worried about what does my wife think of me? And what do I think of me? I'm not worried, if you're not worried about, I got to defend my wife to this. So if I took this video and posted it, it would be, hey, look at a little self-restraint. This was a little self-restraint at a drunken idiot.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, maybe afterwards I would nudge my beautiful significant other and be like, hey, maybe not egging the guy on would have been a great idea.
Right.
Right? Because you're making my life harder here.
Right.
We're making the challenge more difficult than it needs to be.
Right.
But still. Okay.
So what, okay, I was gonna say, do we have more of this?
Yeah.
Okay.